Know Your Candidate. Presented by Portland is Possible, broadcasted by XRAY FM. In this segment, we offer a brief background on the visionary candidates that are proudly standing and running for the acclaimed Portland Area City Council. For now, we have a candidate of District 3 that incorporates Montevilla, Belmont, and Hawthorne neighborhoods.
Hi, my name is Phillipe Knab. I'm a candidate for District 3 City Council.
What investments in transportation infrastructure and related projects do you see as the city's highest priority?
Obviously, to grow our urban spaces, we need to have a multimodal investment in infrastructure. We need to be able to get places by bike, by bus, by train, in order to make our urban centers thrive. With all of those needs, I think that the most important need that I would say is that we need to activate our public transportation. What I mean by that is that we need that public transportation to be safe, accessible for everyone. It has to be desirable for people to use it. And to be desirable, it needs to be used. It's kind of a catch-22. But what we need to make sure is that all of our public spaces are safe and accessible to everyone, and that's actually what draws the very priorities of my campaign, which are both public safety and unsheltered homelessness. And those two issues need to be addressed in order to have a thriving public transportation system. So my primary and most important investment within this space would be to make sure that the public transit system is activated and is safe and accessible to everyone.
What other city is getting public art right?
Well, let me start off by saying I think Portland's getting public art right. I think that we do a great job of public art. I'm going to sound like a broken record. I mean, I think where we're failing is at the unsheltered homelessness and public safety, because the investments that Portland's making in having and does have a thriving art scene are being overshadowed because of the undesirableness of walking in a lot of our what should be the centers of our public art communities. So just to give a great example of some really wonderful things that have happened recently, the cat statues were really great. That was a great investment and you know, something that was fun for everyone and did bring some joy and some light to downtown. You know, the reality is, and we're going to talk about this more, the reality is that it's not necessarily drawing the families and the children and the investment of the rest of the community, because a lot of Portland doesn't look great right now, and we need to address that. But you know, I think when you look at and when you talk about art on a bigger picture, Portland's doing great. We have a great music scene. We have really top-notch independent venues. You know, most major shows come through here. You know, and then the public art, I don't think there's a, size-wise, there's a better city for public art than Portland. We're doing really well. We need to work on other things.
What attractions should Portland grow to make this a better place for people to live, play, and visit?
Yeah, I mean, we need to work on downtown. We need to work on downtown, and I'm not saying that as someone who doesn't come to downtown. You know, just 2 weeks ago, I was driving my kid to a camp that was in downtown, and I saw what was, I'm just going to assume, but I'm pretty sure they were some European tourists on vacation. It was right around the Burnside Bridge, and it was gross. It was just not nice. And they're walking around with guidebooks like a wholesome looking family of European tourists. And I felt embarrassed for Portland. I felt embarrassed for the United States. If we want a city that people want to come and visit, it needs to look better. It needs to do better. You know, and I think that's a reality. And you know, I think I'm an attorney with 20 years of socially progressive advocacy and policy experience. I've worked as a public defender. I've worked as an eviction defense attorney. We can make choices that result in those outcomes without loss of compassion and with empathy. But we need to activate downtown. Part of that is pandemic, part of that is commercial, but part of it is that we've let it degrade. And we have great cultural stuff there. You know, there's reason to come downtown, but no one's going to want to come when there's tents on every street, when there is, folks with significant mental health disabilities, and so we need to fix that, and we need to make it the center, the heart of our city again.
What would or should the average Portlander's day look like in 30 years?
Great question. For this question, I'm going to assume that we've solved climate change. I think that what Portland is going to get better at is integrating kind of more of the natural world into our public spaces, and we've done a great job of it. We're so lucky to have such a naturally beautiful city. What I could see in our utopia in 30 years from now is that we only get better at kind of integrating the urban spaces with the natural spaces, more population density, but more great parks as well. I think that the livability that makes Portland so special only continues to increase. The schools get better. Public transportation is easy and accessible. And that our natural world and our urban environment are kind of integrated so that we have a little bit of more of an ability to access Forest Park and the zoo and all these other great things through public transportation, which we already do and we utilize, and it's wonderful. If you've never been on the 4T Trail, it's awesome.
In 30 years, what should Portland be known for?
I think 30 years, like today, I think Portland should be known for its livability. It should be, and it is, known as a place that's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family. It's a great place to start a career. It's a great place to do art. It's a great place to act. It's a great place to do all of these things. Portland should be accessible, affordable, vibrant, funky, all of the things that it is today with more livability. We have to be able to solve our unsheltered homelessness issue. We're not going to thrive when we have tents on our streets. And we can do that with compassion, and we can do that with empathy by helping people and bringing people into society. We need to solve our livability issues. But when we do that, I think Portland will be known for what it's known for today, which is being an incredibly livable city.
Lightning round. What's the last show or performance you saw?
I saw the Afghan Wigs at Crystal Ballroom.
What place in town that more people should know about?
Southwood Waterfront Park.
Whom from Portland's past or present should our leaders take notes from?
I had trouble with this one, but I'm going to say Julia Brim Edwards.
If you couldn't live in Portland, where would you want to live?
New York City.
Should the President Teddy Roosevelt statue come back?
I think I maybe have enough information about this. If there's not anything horribly racist or intrinsically wrong with it, then yes.
So now you know your candidate, or a bit about them. We like to thank the visionary candidates, also like to especially thank all the volunteers and organizations that put this together. We couldn't do this without you. To look at each candidate, be a good Portland citizen, and to be a dashing and informed voter, listen to X-Ray FM to learn about ballots and the new ranked choice voting system. And check out portlandpossible.org.